Welcome to section 2 of the PRINCE2 Foundation training. In this section, we will focus on the PRINCE2 principles, the 7 principles. What are the principles? These principles are drawn from best practice and form the foundation for the beliefs and behaviors of PRINCE2. All of us have our own principles. Similarly, these are PRINCE2 project principles. These principles are universal, meaning they apply to all projects. These are self-validating, meaning they are proven by several years of practice. These principles validate themselves or verify themselves. They're also empowering, meaning they give practitioners the confidence and ability to influence management of projects. Universal, self-validating, and empowering. A PRINCE2 project must follow all the 7 principles. We took a brief look at the 7 principles earlier in the previous section. Let us look at them in depth now. The 7 principles once again are continued business justification, learn from experience, define roles and responsibilities, manage by stages, manage by exception, focus on products, and tailor to suit the project. The first principle, continued business justification. For the foundation exam, it is important to understand the theory. You need to recollect the words, the terminology, the concepts, the definitions as they are. A PRINCE2 project requires continued business justification, meaning there should be a justifiable reason for starting the project. The justification is documented and approved. The justification remains valid throughout the life of the project. A simple justification could be to develop a non-polluting automobile, to develop a new type of vehicle without creating pollution, or which does not create pollution or cause pollution. Creation of a vaccine as another project will also require a justifiable reason. Therefore, all PRINCE2 projects require justification. These justifications will be covered in more depth in the business case theme afterwards. The justification is not only at the beginning. The reasoning needs to be good throughout the duration of the project. If the reason is not sufficient enough, the project may be changed or may be stopped or halted. The chosen option must provide value for money. Because projects have investments, the investment must be safeguarded or protected. Principle number 2, learn from experience. Lessons are sought, recorded, and acted upon throughout the life of the project. Learning lessons from the past help us to improve in the future. Lessons need to be sought, recorded, and acted at 3 points: when starting a project, as the project progresses, and as the project closes. When the project is beginning, one needs to seek lessons from previous similar projects and apply them if appropriate and relevant. As the project progresses, lessons should be continuously learned and applied for improvement purposes. And when the project is closing, key lessons should be summarized and submitted for use by other projects in future. We pause here for a moment for you to take notes, reflect on the learnings, and note down any questions for further exploration. The next principle, define roles and responsibilities. A PRINCE2 project has defined and agreed roles and responsibilities with an organization structure that engages the business, user, and supplier stakeholder interests. All PRINCE2 projects need to define clearly the roles and responsibilities in line with PRINCE2's defined roles and responsibilities. Note that there are 3 key stakeholders or stakeholder interests: business, users, and suppliers. Business are the sponsors who endorse the project objectives and ensure that the investment provides value for money. Generally, this can be a customer or a senior member of the organization, like a program manager, a portfolio manager, or someone at an executive level. Users use the products to derive expected benefits, which means users should also specify what they want, and they will use the product, they will receive and accept the product, start using them, and reap the benefits. Therefore, users also specify benefits. It is possible that the customer is the user, and the customer is also the business. So sometimes you may have the same individual or group of individuals representing business as well as users. In reality, that is okay, as long as the business interest exists and the user interest exists. The supplier interest. Suppliers provide required resources and expertise, which may be internal or external. Some projects may utilize internal resources and suppliers, and some utilize external, and some use both internal as well as external suppliers. Resources mean not only people, but equipment, materials, supplies, etc. In general, resources also mean time and money, but time and money are treated separately in PRINCE2. Next principle, managed by stages. A PRINCE2 project is planned, monitored, and controlled on a stage-by-stage basis, which means the project cannot be a single shot, one run, but it needs to be broken down into parts or stages. You might have heard the word phases as well. Phases and stages may mean similar or different things depending on how they are being used in different organizations. The planning horizon is defined by dividing the project into stages, creating a high-level project plan and a detailed stage plan for the current stage, which means it is possible to plan only up to a certain point in time, and that certain point in time is defined as the planning horizon. If I'm able to see as a project manager the detail only 4 months from now, then I can have a detailed plan only for the 4 months from now. And beyond the 4 months, I may have only a high-level plan. Therefore, a project should have the complete project plan, which is a high-level plan of the project, and stage plans for the planning horizons. So if I'm able to see the next 4 months, I may have a stage plan for the next 4 months. And when I'm nearing the end of this stage, then I may be able to make the stage plan for the subsequent stage. PRINCE2 definition of a management stage. The section of a project that the project manager is managing on behalf of the project board at any one time, at the end of which the project board will wish to review progress to date, the state of the project plan, the business case, and risks, and the next stage plan, meaning these would be reviewed by the project board in order to decide whether to continue with the project or not. We'll get a better understanding shortly when I show you a picture of the stages. But the summary here is, there is a project board. We look at the composition of the project board afterwards, but the project board would like to review at the end of each stage the next stage plan and the status of the current stage and other things like the business case and the risks of the project before authorizing the next stage. Minimum 2 management stages are required, 1 initiation stage and 1 or more delivery stages. Both initiation and delivery stages are known as management stages only. However, there is only 1 initiation stage in a PRINCE2 project and 1 or more delivery stages. The delivery stages are for development of the products, whereas initiation stage is for detailed planning. Such stages facilitate the managed by exception principle. We look at the managed by exception principle next, which is the upcoming principle. However, without managed by stages, managed by exception will not be possible. And we'll understand how that happens a bit later on. The project board delegates authority to the project manager for the day-to-day control of the project within agreed tolerances, which means that the overall control of the project is not with the project manager, but with the project board. But the day-to-day control of the project is with the project manager, but within agreed tolerances. There may be tolerances for cost, time scales, risks, benefits, scope, and quality. There may be tolerances for, or there will be tolerances at the project level and at the stage level and at the work package level. PRINCE2 is about connecting various dots. There are several concepts, several definitions, terms, mechanisms, procedures, approaches, etc. All of them connect very well once you have completed the course. Until then, you will see bits and pieces coming at you, and not to get worried about them, but they will all eventually link up together to have a clear understanding when you complete this course. And that brings us to the end of section 2, the 7 principles in depth. Thank you.